going to start. But
All right, man. So how are things been going for you lately? Past couple
uh,
weeks.
it's been it's been going good, man. Working from home, which has been pretty nice with the quarantine. Drinking quarantinis, as I like to call
Uh,
it. Uh, no, it's been going good, man. How's quarantine life up in North Dakota been treating you, man? I know
Not
you
much
probably
of
don't
a
get to stay home,
quarantine up
obviously.
here. Yeah. Well, they don't even have like a statewide lockdown or anything, so it's kind
Okay.
of like all the businesses that that have a public setting are pretty much closed down, or they're drive-through only or pickup only. So
Yeah.
besides like the bars and stuff being closed, not much is different. Like work is the same. I still go into work. We have to wear face coverings, but besides that, nothing's crazy like anything out of the ordinary. There's a lot less
Makes
people
sense.
on the road, but that's about it.
Yeah, we got a lot less people on the road down here, which is nice. Um, we're not on a statewide lockdown yet, but a lot of the counties around us are on like a lockdown, except for the county I work in. Luckily, I don't live in that county, so I still get to stay home. But they're still giving us the option either way because we can only have like 10 people in the office at a time.
Right.
Uh,
That
yeah,
makes
man.
sense.
What have you been doing to like in your downtime with quarantine? You can't go do nothing. Any like habits that
Oh,
you're picking up? Good, bad? We don't
you
have to say
know,
bad on the
living
air.
living the the home life, going and grilling out and hanging out in the 50-degree weather because it's like beautiful. Playing with the
Yeah, it decides
dogs.
decides to wait till the apocalypse to have nice weather. It's been so
Yeah,
beautiful here, man. It's been like 70s like all week long, and then of course we get to the weekend and it starts raining. But
yeah. That's. I mean, that's typically like how they do it around here. It's kind of like anytime that anytime something bad happens, the weather gets good, and then out here it'll be 50. It'll be 55, and then the next day it'll like snow and ice, and it's like it's ridiculous. It's mid-April, and we're talking about 30 degrees tomorrow. So
nice, nice. We don't have to worry
yeah.
about that part.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
there's been a lot happening since we did our last podcast. Like,
100%.
and with
Uh,
there not being any sports, like there's a lot of sports
there's
things
been a lot of
happening.
there's been a lot to talk about, man. Even with like there not being a lot, just with like, um, obviously they're trying to figure out things with the coronavirus where they can finish, seasons, trying to see if they can. Been a lot of
Mm,
like weird shit happening with teams like not wanting to pay players. Which have you heard about that yet, man? Have you heard
yeah,
about what's going on with the Rams
yeah,
and
they're
not wanting to pay Todd Gurley? And then Clay Matthews chimed
yeah,
in, said, "Hey, they're not paying me either. I'm waiting on that money." Have you heard
right,
about that? Like, do you know
yeah.
what's going on with that for like why they're owed money by chance?
Well, I know Todd Gurley, so he's owed $7.5 million in bonuses, which is typically like a check that they give at the end of the season, I believe. And I'm sure that they do it in installments, or they have some sort of process, but I don't know why they haven't paid them. I don't know if like they've been too worried about their stupid logo that they're creating or what. I don't know what their
Yeah,
problem is.
San
Like,
Angelo State needs to get on the phone right now and
yeah,
say, "Hey, we want our logo back, or we want royalties." One of the two. It looks just like ours. For any of the listeners up north, um, with you, AJ, I'll flash up a logo or something of
yeah,
San
yeah.
Angelo State either on our social media page, or I'll put it up on this video so that way they can see it too. But it looks just like it. Looks just like the San Angelo State one because they're the
Well,
Rams too, right?
yeah. So ASU, they're
Red
an
Mops.
affiliate. Yeah, well, Angelo State's they're an affiliate of Texas Tech. So Texas Tech bought them out. I don't know if affiliate's the right word, but just like Commerce is to A&M,
Yeah, I
Texas
see what you're
Tech
saying.
bought
A branch.
bought the name, whatever the naming, or they're part of their system. So I figured
Gotcha.
Texas Tech would be like, oh, that looks really close to our logo.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't said it, or I don't know who came up with the logo to begin with, though. Regardless on if they ripped it off or not, dude, it looks awful. Like it doesn't look like a professional football team logo, if that makes sense. It looks real Pop Warner to me. I don't
Well,
like it.
yeah, and Pop Warner, like freaking semi pro, like the Major League Gaming or whatever, the gaming stuff, their logos are better than some of these NFL things.
Yeah,
Like you've got all these rebranding opportunities. You got the Buccaneers doing their new jerseys, the Falcons doing
which are dope.
their new jerseys, and I think
The
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 Buccaneers,
red machine.
well, the Buccaneers did it right. Like they're
Yeah,
those pure pewter and red, those are legit. Um, but the
I really like the Bucks. To sorry to interrupt you, I like their new uniforms. The dark ones. Is that the pewter that you're talking about, or is
yeah,
that a
yeah,
different
that's
color
like
logo?
it's like a
Okay,
gray or like a
yeah.
gray gold
I
color
I
kind
kept
of.
wanting to say like charcoal, but I know it wasn't that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that dark gray just all the way through. Those are gonna be nice. Um, and then Atlanta, I like theirs. But you saw the video I sent you, man, where
yeah,
they look their all black ones look just like the red machine
yeah,
from Longest Yard. I'm just
yeah,
waiting on Adam Sandler to try it out there
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, he
against
might be
the
better than
guards.
Matty Ice, so.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh,
But which
speaking of
did
speaking of like
yeah,
NFL, man, I know we were chatting about a little bit about the free agency stuff
yeah.
prior to this, but I had a couple thoughts on what I thought about the how free agency went for some teams. If you want to hear me out real quick,
Okay. Yeah,
uh,
man. Let's see what you got.
so I'll go with the losers first because I always think it's funny to see these teams think that they're smarter than everybody else. Um, my two biggest losers for this whole free agency, number one was Houston, just because of
Yes, I put them right
yeah,
at the top.
yeah, yeah. Just because DeAndre Hopkins is so good. Like he's top two receiver, and those two receivers are head and shoulders above all the other receivers. Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. And then they picked up David Johnson's contract, and David Johnson is a walking crutch. You know, he was amazing a couple years ago, and he can't stay healthy, and he's sitting on that giant contract. And then they tried to band aid it with Randall Cobb. Well, no, they still have Will Fuller, which is nice, but then they go and trade for Brandon Cooks, and they give up another pick. It's like, man, you're just digging yourself into a hole. And then my other one, I think actually that they're probably a bigger loser than Houston is. Um, the Rams, they lost. Hear me out. They lost their whole defense. So they lost Dante Fowler, he's an outside linebacker, up and coming. Corey Littleton, uh, Michael Brockers, Todd Gurley, Roby Coleman, uh, cornerback, Clay Matthews,
Mhm.
Eric Weddle. They lost all those people, and they've added A. Sean Robinson, Leonard Floyd, and then they re-signed Andrew Whitworth.
They pretty
Like
much lost their whole defense.
they lost everybody. Like I don't know if they
Yeah.
were if their goal was to fire sale. I mean, they picked up a few picks and they lost Brandon Cooks as well. I mean,
Hmm.
you Brandon or Jared Goff was okay when you had five receivers to throw to, but now you take away his top two weapons. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, Robert Woods is
I
good, but
yeah, I don't think the Rams did very successful this offseason. Maybe they're seeing that they got in. I think maybe they're seeing that they got in a little bit over their head. If you think about it, like they signed Todd Gurley to record money, they signed Jared Goff to record money. They had all these big names on defense, and it never really added up much to them, other than when they made it that one run deep in the playoffs.
they went to the Super
Um,
Bowl. That or
or
no,
super,
yeah,
yeah, super.
yeah, they
Did
lost.
they go
They
to the
got
Super
their
Bowl?
ass beat. Yeah, I think they got their
Yeah,
ass beat.
yeah. But either way, they had that one year. They paid everybody all that money, and it hasn't been the same since then.
Well, and
Um,
now mind you, they still have the best defensive player in the league on their team. I mean, Aaron Donald is
100%,
amazing, but
100%.
why not build on that? Why are you going for draft picks now? Like Aaron Donald's got,
Yeah.
7 years on his belt, but he could get hurt. Like you got to make sure that you utilize his
I just
prime.
I just don't know what strategy is there by letting all these guys go and not trying to re-sign them, or is it the case that those guys didn't want to re-sign? Is there maybe something going on there in LA? People don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I
well, I
don't
mean,
know.
think about it. Think about this. They aren't paying their dudes their bonuses. They have a really
Mm,
crappy, rebranding, opportunity that they floundered
yeah.
completely. They're getting a new stadium, cool. Um,
Yeah,
you're in LA, I
I
mean,
like the Coliseum anyways.
yeah, 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 Rose Bowl, you can play at the Rose Bowl. Um, but, uh, you go from being the top 3 NFC team to not even making the playoffs last year. Now, mind you, if they would have had the 7 teams like they're planning on doing next year, they would have made the
Yeah.
playoffs. They would have been the 1 team in, but, I just think it's looking pretty rough for them going forward,
I
just because
I think
I don't think Jared Goff's the guy.
no, I don't think so either. I think they paid him way too much. I think Tennessee's going to have that situation with Tannehill, but that's a conversation for a later day that they paid
You
him so
said
much.
what?
But I said I think that Tennessee they're going to
Mhm,
have that problem with Tannehill too later on down. I think they paid him too much. I think he's going to turn into a Jared Goff situation there.
mhm,
Um, but conversation for a later day on that one. But with the Rams, I think you kind of hit on something there. I, I think maybe it's something within their organization. You had
mhm,
mentioned that they're not paying their players their bonuses. You got Todd Gurley and Clay Matthews claiming that they're still owed money right now.
mhm.
Maybe it's just an organization that a lot of guys don't want to continue to play for. Maybe there's something going on in there that we haven't heard about yet. Maybe we'll hear about something new. I'm mainly
Something's
just
gonna come out.
mentioning this so that way we have that recorded. So if
Yeah,
anything does come out, we can say we
yeah,
called that.
yeah. Well, and then
So
and then a couple other teams that just real quick, like I don't want to get too far down, but
yeah,
Minnesota lost a lot. They only added
yes.
Michael Pierce, and they lost Stephon Diggs, Xavier Rhodes, Everson Griffin, Trey Waynes,
Hmm.
Lindahl, Joseph, and Weatherly. They lost their whole defense, any experience on
Yeah.
their defense, and then the Panthers, they lost Luke Kuechly, Cam Newton, Addison,
Yep.
Gerald McCoy, Vernon Butler, Eric Reed, Greg Olson, and then they added
And their coach.
Bridgewater, and yeah, and their coach Robbie Anderson, which I think that was a pretty good pickup, and then Steve
Yeah.
Weatherly, like you know, they didn't they didn't do anything. I don't know if they think they're going to get somebody in the draft. Now, mind you, all these guys are going for receivers. Like this may be the deepest wide receiver draft we've seen in years. I mean, you've got
Hmm.
T. Higgins, C.D. Lamb, Jared Judy or Judy. I don't even know his
Jerry.
first name.
Yeah, Jerry Judy.
Jared Judy. You know, the who's the other Alabama receiver who might be even better than Jared Judy. Like,
Oh man.
um, you've got Riggs. I think his name is Riggs,
Hmm.
Henry Ruggs on the TCU. You've got Duvernay from Texas. You've got the dude from SMU. Like, this is a
It's
deep
very
receiver
deep
class.
receivers. Yeah. It's probably the deepest receiver class they've had in a good while.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean,
And
it's probably the deepest that I can recount.
yeah,
And I don't know how
do you
long.
think the Vikings will be able to even be in the same field as the Packers?
Um, I don't think so. Not right now. Not with what they gave up. They gave up Stephon Diggs, which is their best receiver. They still got Thielen there, but I don't know. I think with Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's that guy either.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think so. No, I don't. I think as a Packers fan, I'm feeling pretty confident about this season of at least making it out of the season with a
I mean,
division title. Because I mean, you have the Vikings who got rid of Stephon Diggs. They got rid of one of their defensive backs. Um, then on top of that, you got the Bears, who they've got a QB battle between Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky that we talked about last time, and
trash.
we basically yeah, we came, I think we came to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter who wins that job.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like the person playing for second place
yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
Then the Lions,
We'll move on.
there's not really they haven't really made any crazy moves this
They
offseason,
got rid
but
of Darius Slay.
yeah, they did get rid of him, but they didn't really add anything crazy either. I mean, yeah, I'm not worried about them either. We'll move on. So I think as a Packers fan, I like the way it's looking. Um, Now we keep talking about who's been losing in the
Mm,
free agency though.
mhm.
Um, what are the teams that you're thinking are coming out most ahead um, on your end? I'm thinking for me, I'm seeing obviously anytime you sign Tom Brady, no matter how old he is, I consider
Mm,
that a win, right?
mm.
So I think Tampa's coming out with a win just because they've got Tom Brady in there.
Tommy
They've
Brady.
got
They got rid of
oh
Jameis.
Tommy Brady,
Mhm.
Tommy. Yeah, they got rid of Jameis, and I think with Tom Brady in that receiving core, they're going to be really good.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll
you
win
know how
at
they make
all,
that.
but I think they take themselves from not being a contender because nobody last year thought that they could potentially win the Super Bowl to
Mhm.
where they're at least being put into the discussion right now. So I consider that a win.
For me, man, I think it's the Bills. I think that
Okay,
the Bills in Arizona. So Arizona to
I
me, I
agree.
think that they got the best player in this whole deal. Obviously, it was a trade, not actually with we talked about earlier DeAndre Hopkins,
Yeah,
and then they unloaded uh, David Johnson's contract. I think that was huge. Um, that that puts already a competitive team in another echelon. And then, like you said, Tampa Bay, like that receiving core is awesome. Um, and then Ronald Jones as a running back, I think he's legit. The defense is where I worry about them. If they're not, although their defense may be helped out a lot by not having 30 interceptions on the offense, so that helps. But
yeah. Keep them off the field a little longer.
I think the Bills organizationally, I think that they added the most to actually help them. They added guys like Stephon Diggs, Mario Addison, AJ Klein, Vernon Butler, Quentin Jefferson, and Josh Norman, and they really haven't lost anybody notable. And Josh Allen will have another year under his belt. I think they still need a running back. I mean, Devin Singletary is good, but it's in every down back. It's Jerry's still out. And then they need a tight end. Like I think that for a quarterback like Josh Allen, I think he needs that pacifier. Like when he's in trouble, just to dump it down. If you
Yeah.
remember, like uh, Romo used to do that with Jason Witten. Jason Witten was the guy that he would be like, "Oh, I'm in trouble. Boom, let's hit him down the seam." Um,
I think every great quarterback has had their check down person at some point, if you really think about it.
hmm
You know,
Like remember when
Tom Brady
Drew Brees used
had
to
to
have
check.
Jimmy Graham like back in the day.
Correct. Yeah. Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, it'll be a fun season. If we start on time, we're gonna have an extra playoff team for each conference. There should be more playoffs. They're talking about adding an extra game, maybe
How
two.
are they doing that with the extra playoff team? How are they doing that? Are they doing like an extra wild
So,
card? I'm
so
assuming.
no, so only one team's gonna get a bye this time. So yeah, so there will be an extra. Essentially, there'll be an extra wild card game. So they're adding a team, and then one team's not getting a bye, so they'll play that first round. Only one team will get a
Okay,
bye, if that makes sense.
gotcha. I
So
like the only one team gets a bye thing. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
be the
it
top
it, cause
dog.
it
Be the
it
top dog.
it really incentivizes playing well in the season. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Correct.
I mean,
Yeah, I
but
like that.
that means half the teams, a little bit under half the teams in the NFL are going to make the playoffs. You know, which is good
Mhm.
or bad. I mean, it'll help the Cowboys because we always float in that middle line. But
I think it'd be good. Give other teams a chance. I think it mix up the pot a little bit,
and
just because
and
any playoff team can go in and win on a Sunday playoff game or anything like that. So I think it just kind of adds that extra little element in there. I think it'd be nice to
absolutely.
have it.
So
More
so
games to watch.
so yeah. I mean, I think the NFL is going to be I think the NFL is going to have the most change. But the teams, the
Mhm.
leagues that have the biggest decisions right now are baseball and NHL and NBA and specifically the NBA and NHL. Like
Mhm.
how do they close out seasons that were about to enter the playoffs where they make their money?
Exactly.
I know I've heard like the tournaments that they'll play in the summer. I've heard that they're just going to play the rest of their games in separate locations. I've also heard
Hmm.
the MLB is talking about like playing in the summer league locations and changing divisions up and
I
um,
did hear about that too. I heard that they would quarantine them all the hotel rooms and everything like that. That
yeah.
that would be cool if they could make that work. if they can
Yeah,
make it work.
I mean, it sucks for the Rangers
I don't
though
understand the
because
logistics, but
I
yeah,
mean,
because we just built a new stadium.
I say just like play it Sandlot style, man. Go play in some random locations and freaking just play some baseball. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we don't need 162 games. We could play 32 or 40. You
I
know?
think baseball is going to be fine because it is such a long season, like you're saying, 162 games.
Yeah,
Dude, if we start in June, okay, well, just cut the season down in half. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
first half of the season doesn't count. Just play out the rest of the schedule.
yeah.
It sucks because I get it though, like on why they don't want to do that because at the
Money.
end of the day, stadiums lose money. If you go from 162 to
Hmm.
80 games in a season, then at that point you only got 40 home games.
And
And
The Rangers were looking at making a buttload of money this year on this new stadium because people will be able to
mhm,
go to the 3 o'clock games and not melt their
yep.
butts off.
Yeah, they'll be able to do that. They've got the new Texas Live right next door that they can go to before and after. Um,
Yeah, Arlington will be
yeah,
hopping after those
yeah,
games.
dude, Arlington, man, like I don't. I'm surprised that people live there. I've never seen houses. All I see is amusement parks and
Well, they
professional
destroyed all the
sporting
houses.
stadiums. Yeah, so like I don't. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty cool place. I just like it's funny. I don't think anybody lives there,
Yeah,
but apparently people do.
but
Um,
yeah,
But yeah, I mean that place is going to be hopping after Rangers games. And if you think about it, dude, in the fall, you'll have Rangers games going on, and you'll have
Cowboys.
like Cowboys games ending. That
Mhm.
although that right there is a parking nightmare. Um, did I
Also a
did I ever tell
coronavirus
you that?
nightmare.
Yeah, did I tell you what happened whenever we went to the Michael Young retirement game? They retired Michael Young's jersey and everything like that. What
Uh-uh.
happened when we tried to leave there?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, dude, man. So we were at this game, right? And it was a real close game. We were down, I think, by like 2 or 3 going into the ninth. Finley was throwing a fit. She was ready to go home.
Mhm.
And next door in Jerry World, there was I think it was Oregon versus Auburn college football game going on. And we had we it was getting close to the ninth inning in the Rangers game, and Ashley was like, "Hey, like let's get going." I was like, "Hey, if we score in this next inning, we'll stay. If we don't, we're going home." We scored. And I looked at her. I said, "We got all the momentum. We're gonna win." We ended up staying. We won in the bottom of the ninth. It was great that we stayed, but due to us staying, we also got out at the exact same time as the Oregon and
Uh,
Auburn football game. Dude, we were stuck in the parking lot for 45 minutes. We didn't leave the parking lot. I was
dang.
getting out of the car and going to the cooler in the trunk and cracking
Yeah.
open a cold one while we were waiting, like, we literally didn't move. But
Oh, jeez, dude, that's
yeah.
horrible. Ah,
Mhm.
there's one light on the service road right off the highway, right in front of those stadium, right in front of Six Flags. A couple
Yeah.
years ago, when I worked for the Cowboys for that season, um, I would wait, and you had to go through this light to get on the highway or whatever, and it was literally going green 15 seconds, then red, and then it would sit for red
That's
for like
nuts.
5 minutes. I was like, dude, this is horrible. And like it was one car would go, and then it would just be like red. I was like, I was sitting there for like
Yeah.
30 minutes at one light. I was like, yeah, I'm over this.
Traffic is never good there. They're always doing construction, building some new, entertainment attraction,
Yeah, yeah.
but, yeah. But
Oh,
anyways,
Hurricane Harbor.
speaking of the, Arlington, though, a team that plays out in Arlington now, or did play out in Arlington for a total of like 4 or 5 games, the Renegades of the
Mhm.
XFL.
Rest in
Um,
peace.
rest in peace. You think they're officially done over with? So for all y'all listening that don't know, XFL just recently suspended um, operations. If you don't know, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You would have known by now. But
Yeah,
that
I
being said, though, do you think they're done?
I'm torn, man. I don't want them to be done. Everything in my head's like, oh, they have investment from Vince McMahon. He invested, $500 million, and I'm not saying 500,000, 500 million.
Yeah, with a
Uh,
B as
I
in
think
boy.
they're done for the foreseeable future. Absolutely, I think that I don't think they'll play in 2021. Maybe 2022. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. They really need backing from the NFL. I know I mentioned on social media, I was like, oh, like, if the NFL would help build that infrastructure and create like, a farm system,
Mm-hmm.
that I think that these leagues would survive. But if the NFL doesn't back it, doesn't help monetarily and doesn't help structurally, I don't think they can survive, man. Um,
Yeah.
but somehow these like European weird like little leagues and all these like not little but these European leagues, the CFL, which is a big deal, they survive just fine. They need to take a note from the CFL, like our boy
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Collins was talking about. He was like, dude, like the games are a blast. Like I think the atmosphere is better than the NFL. Like where can
Yeah.
we pull from that? And there's plenty of people that want to watch those games.
Yeah.
I think two things: they need to stop paying the players as much. I know it sucks that these players don't get paid, but if they're in a farm system, their goal is to make it to the NFL. So you don't need to pay them $300,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, and then you got to stop. They got to stop thinking of it like the NFL. Oh, we're gonna make $32 billion like the NFL did last year. No, you're not. You're not making $32 billion. Be happy with breaking even and giving these dudes a chance and keeping football around, year round, or have the NFL support the CFL and make it more of a feeder league. You know what I mean? Add a few more teams, maybe add some teams over the border. You know what I mean? Like, um, go to Buffalo or go to Minnesota or go to and start bringing it down and start building that league since it already has an infrastructure, and then you may be able to get more of a feeder league. I just I loved what the XFL was doing with their innovation, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that was really needed. I love that the excitement from the current players and stuff, but you got to get they got to get more than a year. You know what I mean? Like for this to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think what you're saying may be true, that they are done. Part of the optimism in me, I want to hold on and say that they're not. Like you said, I was enjoying what they were doing. It really is just an unfortunate timing of events. They just started. They need all the money they can get from revenue. But but at the same time, like I think they had a recipe that was working. I mean, their fans were going to the games. I don't know if that's just because it was still something new, but they were going to the games. They were into it. Um,
They had viewership.
they had viewers. I mean, hell, we were watching it almost every weekend.
Well,
Um,
yeah, they had two. We're good.
yeah, yeah,
uh, no, but the problem is like you've got whenever you build a business, you project out what you're estimated to make, and
mm-hmm,
they were cutting what half on their games.
yeah,
Um,
yep. They didn't get any playoffs either. No championship or nothing like that.
and I'm sure that those networks were paying them, a certain amount of
Mm-hmm.
money and expecting to finish the contract out, and then this damn
Yep.
coronavirus comes in and says, I'm not into y'all watching sports anymore, so let's just cut that out. And now we're here. We're watching games from 2010 on NFL Network, and I don't know, man. It was kind of cool to see a
Hey,
couple games.
that USC Texas game was good to watch, though, man.
Yeah, but like,
Texas won. I told you they would.
yeah, and I got to see, I watched the 2011 finals game for the Mavericks. That was awesome because
Yeah,
I love me some Mavericks,
I missed that one.
but like, all right, cool. The first week of it was cool. All right, can we get back to normal life now and watch sports again? Like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
over it.
exactly. Yeah, zap. See you later, Rona. Get
And
out of here.
and
Yeah,
and and we lost a future. We may have lost a future, finals team with the Utah Jazz. They had the recipe for success, but Donovan Mitchell doesn't even want to talk to Rudy Gobert after what happened with the coronavirus thing. So,
he
uh,
didn't want to talk to him.
I mean, I don't know. Like they're like beefing. Like he's like, I don't know if I can mend our relationship. So they're talking about trading Rudy Gobert, and he's like
What?
that
I
center.
haven't heard of this. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I was
He
reading.
is he mad at him because he gave him coronavirus?
Well, I think it's the way he was doing it. He was being a little asshole about it, and
where he was like touching the mics and like rubbing all over people.
Yeah,
But like
rubbing.
he didn't know he had it at that time. I felt like he was just like every other American that
Well,
was like not
but
taking
what
it
else was said behind
seriously.
closed doors? You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. That's
you
true.
know, there's
I
always
know.
some type
Yeah.
of conversation, and that may not even be true, man. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure over time as this becomes, because I feel like this coronavirus changes every day. We get different things. Like the government's giving us different, looks
Yeah.
at what's
Yeah.
happening.
My stimulus check was supposed to be here last Tuesday. Now they're saying next Wednesday.
No,
It's killing me, man. No, I'm just playing.
totally forego that $1,200 to get sports back. Like 100%.
Yes,
Like
100%.
I could
100%.
care less. Like
Yeah.
I know some people really
Yeah.
need that money, and I absolutely
Some
understand it.
people do. Yeah.
But if sports return, that means you'll most likely get your job back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, but uh,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm about over it, honestly.
Yeah, dude, it's making everything go by slow, man. Because like I've
Mm,
been working here at home, and to be honest with you, man, like working like the normal 9 to 5 job from the house, dude, is awesome. I like it. W- the thing I don't like right now about it is I can't leave as soon as my shift's up. Like it's nice because I cut out all my drive time, but like with the extra time in the day, what am I doing with it? Nothing. I'm just sitting here now. I can't go nowhere. So it's weird. They've got
yeah.
I'm over it, man. It's been 2 weeks that I've been working from home. It feels like 2 years. Like I don't like.
This is the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah. No sports is making it hard, and it hit at the worst time too, because for sports at least, because like this is the best time of year for
Yep.
sports. You
Yep.
got basketball going into the playoffs.
March
You got the
Madness,
NHL going into the playoffs. March Madness.
the
Uh,
draft.
NFL offseason coming up, so you got the free agents, the draft.
Yeah.
Um, then by the middle of the summer, you wrap up um, basketball and hockey with championships, and then literally a month later, you start preseason football with the Hall of Fame
Hmm.
game,
Hmm.
and then you also have baseball that started, and that's been kind of keeping you
And then this
going
year
in
the
the middle of things.
Olympics.
Yeah, you got the Olympics this year, which they're still acting like those are still on, man. I don't know about you, but if I'm like an Olympic athlete, I ain't going.
Well,
Sorry.
I read that they were
I'll see y'all in 4 years.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're postponing it. They're still going to do the 2020 Olympics, but it may not be in 2020.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. I
Yeah.
don't think Japan has been as affected by all this as everybody else.
Which
Which
blows my
which
mind
yeah, yeah,
because they're right next to China.
yeah. China. Oof. Anyways, yeah, dude. Like I, when you got ESPN reporting on like an NBA 2K tournament where Devin Booker just won. By the way, that was pretty dope. He destroyed everybody. And his teammate freaking made a run too, DeAndre Ayton. Um, eh, Things are rough for the sports world. Like honestly, like
100%.
um,
ESPN, they even put out a commercial. I literally just saw it about 5 minutes ago before we started doing this episode. They like, it was like, it was like this sad question. It was like, and then at the end it says like, "We miss it too, ESPN." Like
yeah,
I was like,
oh,
Jesus, like
yeah, yeah, make me
a
cry.
few more beers and I'd probably be crying right now.
So my question for you is, why the heck did this not happen while we were in college? Like,
Dude, I know, right? That
uh,
it's probably good that it didn't, because we would have been the dumbasses that are like, "Oh no, Corona ain't gonna get me," and we'd just be out living our life doing whatever.
but like living at the Sig House and having like 2 extra months off of school would have been so
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
Oh, dude. Yes, it would have been really good. That would have been. I'm sure it would have been a giant blur, but full of memories
yeah,
that are half remembered.
yeah, exactly. But
Dude, that would be nice, man.
yeah, I just it feels
We
like
did get the snow days though,
yeah, yeah, we did get one or two of those.
which we'll talk about the snow days off air. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, well, I
Uh,
mean, you do remember that snowball fight at the KA house?
if you know, you know.
That was the best. That was
Yeah,
the best party I ever had in college, I think.
100%.
But
But
no, so
Speaking of the
So,
quarantine stuff, did you hear about your boy Dak
well,
Prescott
oh yeah,
breaking that quarantine, man? He's breaking quarantine. What's going on, man?
they'll be all right.
He yeah, he's like working out in a gym with
Mhm.
Des Bryant, which was kind of mind blowing to me. Is Des Bryant under contract with New Orleans still or no? Because I thought he
No,
only
no,
signed a one
no,
year deal,
no.
right?
He did. Yeah, he's not. He's a free agent.
Ooh, you
So,
think he'll come to
so
Dallas?
well, you saw the recent report, right?
Uh-uh.
With
Well,
with
maybe I don't know.
with Zeke and Dak, they somebody like called told on
Oh,
them
because
or
they were at a
whatever.
house party or
They're at
whatever.
a house
Yeah,
party. I'm like, dude, who cares? Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I get it. Like, you don't want to spread this virus or whatever, but people are gonna live their lives, especially when they make millions and millions of dollars. Like,
yeah.
they're gonna have fun.
People out there snitching, man.
Hmm.
They like they got them recorded doing their workouts in the gym, and
Yeah.
then they got them at a house party.
Well, and Dez
But
even said
I
he's
saw
like,
something though. Somebody, go ahead.
what was it?
Sorry,
Oh, I would say Dez even
I
said
was gonna say,
he's like I have a freaking facility at my house. We'll just go do it there.
yeah. I, I s- I saw another thing too that said technically Dak Prescott's not under contract right now, so the NFL can't sanction him. Is that true? If he's under franchise tag, isn't he technically under contract though?
I don't. I think he's still under. I think
Uh,
he's under contract. I don't know. I mean,
okay, yeah, I don't know how
they
that
can
works,
still
but
sanction him just because he's not under contract.
yeah,
He's a
true,
free
yeah,
agent. He's a part of the NFL. Like,
yeah.
you can't just go stab somebody and then not get in trouble by the NFL because you're not under contract.
Eh,
Speaking of, I was surfing the intricate, deep, dark posts of the interwebs the past few weeks,
the
and
dark web.
yeah, not the dark web. I'm not into that. And I saw something, and I don't know what validity there is to this, but somebody was talking about Chris Johnson being a. Remember Chris Johnson?
Hmm.
He was that running back with the dreads. He played for Tennessee. Somebody
The
accused him
running
of
back,
murder,
y'all. What?
no,
Oh,
murder for hire, kind of like a Tiger King type stuff.
oh man.
Yeah, I was reading
Uh,
that. I was like, what is
Free
up with
Joe Exotic.
yeah,
When
what's
did
up
when
with
did that
the running
happen
back?
though?
Do what?
When did that happen? Is that like an old deal or a new deal?
I mean,
What the?
if you search it right now, like TMZ, Pro Football Talk, Heavy.com, they're all talking about it.
Looking it up right now.
Yeah, like it's very strange. Like, I hope it's not true because I always liked watching Chris Johnson play. It says, all right, ex NFL star Chris Johnson is accused of funding murder for hire shootings that left two men dead in 2016. FYI, Johnson has not been formally charged with a crime and adamantly denies the allegations, but officials are clearly laying out their case against the running back, and it's compelling stuff. Long story short, officials believe Chris Johnson rewarded a gang member with cash after the guy allegedly killed two men who were suspected of gunning down Johnson's friend in 2015. Johnson nearly died in a shooting in Orlando, Florida, back on March 8, 2015, when Orange County Sheriff officials say someone opened fire on a Jeep that Chris was in around 4 a.m. Johnson suffered a bullet wound to his shoulders and made a full recovery, but the driver of the vehicle, his friend Drekius Johnson, did not survive the attack. Intelligence gathered suggested the shooting was a gang-related murder attempt on Chris Johnson. In the court docs, officials claim an informant told them that as a reward for Bolden's alleged actions, Chris helped the guy become a leader of a famed drug trafficking organization in Florida. The informant told officials that Johnson supplied Bolden with funds and an individual who could continually supply Dominic Bolden with as much narcotics as needed to supply the organization. They also told the officials the murder for hire elevated Dominic Bolden's rank, reputation, and power within the organization, eventually making Bolden the organization's de facto leader. Um, Dang, man. And he said he denied it.
Yeah.
He said he was seeking revenge. He said, I don't live that life. Bro, you got pictures with this dude.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Um, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't want to say yes or no. I mean, obviously, I don't have proof either way. But the fact that you're even getting tossed up in those allegations,
yo, they
that's not a
they should
good.
do like
That's
a
good.
30 for
Not a good
30.
start.
They should do a 30 for 30 on NFL running backs and how wild they are. Like you got Ray Rice,
Yeah.
Jamal Lewis. You remember that whole deal? Like
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Johnson. Like what is going on with the running backs, y'all? Like I don't get
Yeah.
it.
That that is crazy now that you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
hmm,
The worst one was Ray Rice. Oh,
running
and
backs.
Adrian Peterson beating his kid and
Yeah.
doing whatever
Yeah.
he does. And
Kareem Hunt.
yeah,
He
Kareem
kicked
Hunt,
that chick in the like hotel, I think is where they were at, it looked like. He
Ezekiel
like
Elliott doing his dumb
kicked her
stuff.
on the booty. Dude, Zeke does some dumb stuff, man.
Not
Like,
anymore as much.
yeah,
Knock
I
on
guess he's
wood.
gotten better at either not doing it or not
Getting caught.
getting caught doing it. Last year though, he was it last summer that he pushed the security guard down or whatever
Yeah,
at
but
the at
that
the
dude had
EDC or whatever.
it
Yeah, that guy suffered from small dick syndrome for sure.
well,
But yeah,
he walked up on him
um,
and Zeke like
yeah,
shouldered him and he fell over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was about to say. He just dropped him. He didn't even do much to him. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, Zeke was pretty crazy. He's kind of gotten better at showing some restraint. I think Dak took him under the wing and was like, "Hey, man, you need to calm down a little bit." So
Absolutely. No,
he said,
so
"Hey,
so
I need you."
speaking of fighting, you see John Jones get in trouble again.
Oh no, dude! I need to be keeping up with sports better, man. You got all these new
Bones
things going on.
Jones, he got in trouble. Nobody's like talking about it, but so he had that recent fight um with old what's his name? Who did he beat? I can't remember his name. He was all upset that he's like he didn't actually win and whatever. Dominic Reyes, I think was his name. And then John Jones got arrested at the end of March.
In
They
New
found
Mexico.
Yeah, they found an open container in his car. He was driving drunk, kind of thing. I don't know, man. Like Jones
And
just
a
can't get right.
negligent use of a firearm. He had
Yeah,
a firearm on him too.
that's
But
crazy, right?
said, yeah. I like how this article that I'm reading up on it right now says he was also cited for not having proof of insurance in the vehicle.
Yeah, who
Okay,
cares?
because that's what you're worried about right now. You got all that other stuff going on.
Yeah,
But
exactly. But so the UFC's in like a tough spot too because they don't technically need. I mean, they don't need fans. They make a majority of their money on pay per view. So, do you need a crowd? I mean, I know the crowd is so awesome for a fight, but I know you were talking about earlier about this island fight. What do you think about that?
dude, I was just about to bring that up. That would be cool. I just think it'd be cool. It reminds me of Mortal Kombat and
Yep.
all those types of all those old arcade fighting games.
Tekken,
Just like on
Street
yeah,
Fighter.
Tekken. Yeah, dude, Tekken used to be real good too. But he's buying an island. It kind of reminds me of what is the name of that movie? There was an old movie. So WWE used to make a lot of movies. They
Uh-huh.
had one with Stone Cold Steve Austin where he was like a prisoner and they
Mhm.
put him on an island and they had to like be the last person standing.
Yeah, what
It was
movie is
the battle royale before Call of Duty was cool. Uh
that? Yeah.
but it was a movie. Let me see what the name of that movie was. It reminds me a little bit of that, except for instead of putting prisoners on the island to kill each other, they're going to just some random island. And it's going to be fighting. And technically, like if you really think about it, do they have to follow like the like no holds bar or the rules, or can they do like a no holds barred type deal
Well,
out there? It makes you wonder. Maybe I'm sure the UFC will follow just because they've got rapport, reputation, and all that. But it kind of makes you wonder if they can just go to a private island, buy a private island, do whatever they want. Is there could other people just go out there and start like these just barbaric fighting leagues out there,
no. So
like on private islands?
so typically, like
That'd be kind of
the
crazy.
island's not going to be. He's not like Dana White's not going to buy an island and then become a sovereign nation. It's not going to be like Dana White's country. It'll just be whatever country that island's a part of. They'll have rules for that type of thing as well. You know what I mean? So,
Gotcha.
um, I mean, I get what you're saying. That would be pretty cool if they could do that, honestly, because I would watch the crap out of that. But
That'd be cool,
they
man.
may not have
Some
to
real life
follow like
Street Fighter.
they don't have to follow like this like maybe the United States gambling laws and those types of things either. Um,
Hmm.
But I'm totally for it, man. Like, let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's get
Let's do it just so that way we can get some type of sports back, man.
let's get Habib in there. Let's get Connor in there. Let's get the
I think
super fight.
Khabib said he would be down to travel there as
Do what?
well. I think it was Khabib that said he would be down to like go to like a private island to fight.
Yeah, who wouldn't, man?
He
That's
was
like,
like as long as I get time to adjust to the time change, I'm
well,
cool with it.
and
The name of that movie is The Condemned,
they would
by the
probably
way.
need to 14-day quarantine them too, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
Like test them or
just to
whatever.
get there, put everybody. Yeah,
I don't
dude,
know.
I think it would be cool. I heard something too on Rogan's podcast where he was talking about like just getting a boat and just taking these dudes out on a boat in the middle of like the like ocean, just having them fight there.
That would be
But
100% uh like a Mortal Kombat or like
100%,
a Tekken.
that's why I think they should do it. That's why I think they should do it.
They need to
Pay per view sales will be through the roof.
they need to do the camera angle from the angle that you play the game. Like straight on. Like
Yes, yes, and the players or the fighters can only walk backwards and forwards or
yeah,
left or right,
or
shall
jump
I
up and
say?
down.
'Cause- Yeah, or jump up and down, or do like they can drop and do like a spinning kick, you know.
Yep, yep, yep.
But I think that would be cool. Um, they're allowed to smuggle chains in their back pocket that they just whip out as a special strike move.
Dude.
But
Get back here.
yeah, I think they should. I think they should do that. I'd buy it on pay per view 1,000 times over again.
Yeah,
But
so I mean, so I was thinking about it. I was like, if I could create this fictitious world, because I like to do these hypotheticals. If I could create like an ultimate super fight of two people, maybe the same weight class, maybe not, but if I had like two dudes I would want to see fight, like legends, they can be anybody. I'd want to watch. I can't even think. There's so many fighters I'd like to watch.
mhm.
But two of the ones that I would love to watch would be like an old school. I'd love to watch like a old school GSP, George St. Pierre, um, fight like a modern day fighter, or like obviously he's still good, but like in his prime, or watch him fight like a. I know Vitor's a little big for him, but
Mhm.
somebody like Vitor back in the day, just bare knuckle. I'd love to see a bare knuckle fight. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
I
gosh.
I would like to. I would give anything to give or to see Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz fight
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Like obviously in their prime, not at their current age or anything like that. But I'd love to be able to watch that again. I think,
Or
dude, my fight that I would love to see the most out of anything would be George St. Pierre GSP
mhm.
and Stylebender. I think that'd be
Ooh,
a cool ass fight.
yeah.
Two really good strikers. I think. I
Yeah.
think GSP gets the edge though because of his ground game.
GSP
But
always gets the edge, no matter who he fights.
yeah, no matter who it is,
No,
no matter who it is.
I, I would like to see a repeat of Quentin Jackson and Fedor. Not
Mm,
Fedor. I'm sorry. Quentin Jack or Rampage Jackson and Chuck Liddell. I don't know why I said
yep.
Fedor. That's dumb. But John Jones and like a Vitor, that would be a fun fight. Or
Yep.
like an acrobatic. I like to see Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva in his prime. I know they just fought, but put
Oh
Anderson
yeah.
Silva
No,
at the
in
end of
his
the
prime
tag
though would be nice.
just destroying people. That would be a fun fight.
I would like that one. Um, trying to think. I think a cool fight too would be like a. Trying to think on something. Um, honestly, man, I'd like to see. I know it's probably not going to happen again. If it does, not anytime soon. I'd like to see a rematch of McGregor and Khabib, just because
Yeah,
of how
I think we
crazy
will.
everything got after their first fight. just
Man,
because, like, I mean,
people
you
just
had
like
dudes jumping out of the ring, like it looked like Royal Rumble in there. Like,
people forget like how odd that was. Like you watch that, like
yeah.
it
Hmm.
was like some mafia type shit. Like these dudes were coming out of nowhere, and like I'm surprised somebody didn't get stabbed or shot. It reminded me of Southpaw. You remember the beginning of
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Southpaw when
Whenever Home Dude's wife ended up getting shot.
spoiler alert for
Spoiler
if you haven't
alert.
seen Southpaw.
There's no spoiler alert. The movie's been out for like 6 years. If you haven't seen it yet, you're probably not going to. So if you call spoiler alert, fuck
Yeah, yeah.
you.
It's a good movie though, so I recommend it. But it
Yeah,
reminded me of
very good movie.
dude,
Yeah,
shot my favorite actress, Rachel McAdams. Like, damn.
yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah,
what's
no,
up, Rachel? If you're listening.
yeah. Yeah, she's definitely. uh,
I
no,
figured she
man.
would be. That's why
So
gave her a shout out. And we're back, man.
yeah,
Yeah. So we were talking, if we could go back, or if we could create these fictitious matchups out there. We were talking about doing a 3-on-3 matchup, which I don't want to take all the credit. I got to shout out my buddy Hunter um, that I stole this from. If he's listening, shout out to you, buddy. Good topic. But a 3-on-3 old school versus new school. Got Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird versus LeBron James, Kobe, RIP Kobe,
yeah. R.I.P.
and
You're gonna make me
KD.
cry on the
Those
show
three
talking about
going at
Kobe, man.
yeah, man. I just poured one out for him.
2020's been tough.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even worried about coronavirus. I just miss my
Yeah,
dog
and then Kevin Durant.
and Kevin Durant. Yeah. So Magic Johnson, MJ, Larry Bird versus LeBron James, Kobe, Kevin
All
Durant.
time.
Who's winning that, and who's also getting the MVP?
All right, so here's my take, and I'm going with the old school on this one, and I'll tell you why. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, they're a perfect combination for this. So all three of them were great defensive players, notably. Michael Jordan, he's won Defensive Player of the Year twice in a league where it was all defense. I mean, you've seen the videos of like the bad boys, the Pistons with those dudes were just dropping people, right? Like Bill Laimbeer
Hmm.
and those guys just killing
Yeah.
people. Um, and then their skill set, they were pure scorers as well. Like Jordan's the best scorer who ever has lived. Um, Larry Bird could literally make any shot, and then Magic Johnson's got the dish. He's got the game down. Like he's the one of the best. He was the first. That point guard, the big point guard, the guy that could run the floor. He was the floor general. And don't get me wrong, like Kevin Durant, he may be one of the best shooters ever. LeBron is one of the best physical specimens ever. He can score. He can run the floor just like similar to Magic Johnson. And then you know, Kobe, I mean, one of the best scorers ever as well, and one of the best competitors ever. But if you think about it, Kobe was a poor man's Michael Jordan. LeBron, LeBron, man, like defense is poor at best, man. Like he's a little slower than these guys, and I just see here's how the game will go for me. MJ is going to get the MVP. He's going to make the last shot. It'll probably be down to the wire. MJ's making the last shot, but MJ's putting them on a poster. Larry Bird's gonna come out with some crazy shot. Like you ever see him shoot behind the goal, like up and over the backboard during a game. Like he's the guy. Like if I'm gonna play horse, I'm picking Larry Bird. But Larry Bird's making shots. Kevin Durant's gonna get beat up because he is what he is. And Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson's magic, right? You're talking about
Hmm.
probably the three best players ever. I mean, a lot of people will talk about that being the best three ever, and it, I love new school basketball, just how much offense, but the defense is not there. Um, well, does LeBron score as much when you're hand checking him, when you're pushing him around a little bit, when you're making him work? Does Kevin Durant even score? Like you put Larry Bird on Kevin Durant, and Larry Bird's gonna make him look like he ain't played basketball ever. And I think Kobe could hang because Kobe did play in that era a little bit. He was that transition. I think Kobe would hang, but I just don't think that's a good combination of people. I think that MJ and the boys put it on him, and MJ comes out with that MVP.
Okay. Disagree. I think on
Oh
this
hell
one,
nah! Get
I
my
give it.
Stephen A. Smith out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Disagree. Disagree. I'll give it to you. MJ, he's the GOAT, greatest of all time. I still think he's the best to ever do it. I don't think that the Magic, MJ, Larry Bird will beat LeBron, Kobe, KD. Two reasons. One, I think there's a lot more talent on the new age side offensively. I know that you said the defensive aspect. Now, hand checks. LeBron is still 6'9" and 250 pounds. I don't think a hand check is gonna get him too much. You know what I mean? He's gonna still drive the lane on whoever's guarding him. I don't know who they would put on
Magic
him. I'm
probably.
assuming that. Yeah, I'm assuming that would probably be the best choice they have to put on him. I think Kobe, like you said, he's a poor man's Michael Jordan, but at the end of the day, still got to turn Michael Jordan in there. So I think he does enough to give him an edge there. And then you got KD. I think the talent on the new age is just better because of two reasons. One, the old school, which I like the old school just as much as you do. The only thing is they inspired the new school.
Mhm.
You can always say that there's things that um, there's things that the new school does that the old school didn't do. There's usually not too much that you can say that the new school does, other than you're saying like the hand checks and like really tough defense because you can't just hack people anymore. But as far as things go, there's not really much offensively that the old school can do that the new school can't.
Mhm.
And but you can't say that vice
Mhm.
versa. There's a lot of things that the new school can do offensively that the old school couldn't.
Okay.
Right. And I'm not talking about Michael
Yeah,
Jordan because
yeah,
Michael Jordan was a damn wizard with the ball. He can do anything. I'm talking about this on a strictly team
yeah,
basis. Now, if you put Michael Jordan in a one-on-one with any of these fools, you're getting smoked every time
yeah. So
just because he's unreal with the ball. But I think I think new school wins in that three
so
on
I,
three.
I'll add a caveat in this one.
Very close game though. Very close
I'll add
game.
a caveat. So take out Kevin Durant and put
Okay.
Steph Curry, and then take out Magic and put Allen Iverson. So that's an old school
Okay.
matchup versus a new school matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, Steph Curry supposedly has the best handles, but I think Allen Iverson,
Yeah.
greatest ever to play that position
Mm-hmm.
in what he did, that ISO basketball. I think that there hasn't been a better
Yeah.
player at ISO basketball, maybe besides Jordan, to do that. And if you put like an
Yeah.
Allen Iverson in there, I think they smoke him. I just now caveat to that, like you put Antetokounmpo in there with those dudes, I don't know how you beat them. I just think that people forget Larry Bird, man. Like he was a technician with the basketball. Like literally, like the way he shot the ball, the way he played basketball, he was like playing your, like if your dad was really good at basketball, he knew the tricks, to beat people. Like, he was that
Mm-hmm.
guy. Like if you ever watch him, like he was so tricky with the ball, like his pump fakes, how he shot the ball. He could move around the court. He looked slow, but he was always there, always in the right spot at the right time, doing the right things. And I'll tell you, man, that I think talent. I think that the skill levels of the new guys is really high because they play basketball since they were two, and they play at a high level. Almost in a professional league, and you in the AAU basketball. But the talent pool in the '90s for basketball, I think, was the best we've ever seen in sports. I think '90s basketball, '90s NBA was
Mm-hmm.
the best league we've ever had, and the players that we played, and yeah, you got all these Euro players now, and you got all these different random, these athletic beasts. I I think the only reason that their point totals have gone up is because the game has morphed to where it allows the offensive players to thrive. Just the same thing in the NFL. Now I think the NFL is different because players are bigger and faster. But in the NBA, people aren't necessarily bigger. I mean, they may be a little bit faster, more athletic because of the workouts. But if you put those old dudes in today's society, like today's like workout regimens, can you imagine what Larry Bird would have done if he lifted weights? or on like a training regimen, or Michael Jordan even with today's stuff, dude. It's kind of scary to see. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I just
Mm,
it's interesting to see because we can do it on NBA on 2K, and it is what it is because 2K goes off of a single set of like attributes, but like
mhm.
I just think that the savvy that you would have with a Larry Bird and a Jordan and a Magic Johnson on the same team in their primes. I don't know, man. That's incredible. You know, like that is like how many championships just combined right there. Those three dudes, like Larry Bird, he won multiple. Magic Johnson won multiple. Jordan won six. Like how many
Mhm.
between LeBron, KD, and who's the other one I keep forgetting? Kobe. I mean, Kobe has the most. Kobe has what, four
Oh,
or
can't
five?
can't forget Kobe, bro.
Well,
Come on
Kobe,
now.
but like I said, that's kind of like not even an old school versus new school because
Yeah,
Kobe's an old
he was
school.
kind of the
You would
middle.
need to do you would need to
Yeah,
put um like on a
he
Antetokounmpo.
kind of spans both. He spans both if you really think
Yeah,
about it. He could go on either side of the
but
equation for the
Kobe
question.
was Kobe until about 2012. You know what I mean? Like he was no
Yeah,
longer Kobe. Like
he just retired
yeah,
recently,
yeah,
but
and
he
a
was
couple
not.
years ago, and like for me, it's like if you want to have this old school versus new school, Kobe is an old school player. I think if you put
Okay.
like I said, Antetokounmpo or Steph Curry or I'm trying to think of players like Kawhi Leonard, a
Mhm.
little different. You know,
Yeah.
that's a conversation you can like okay, and even LeBron is he is new school, but he's been in the league for almost 20 years. You know, it's like um,
True.
it's always fun to think about that because like basketball is a game that from the 60s to 70s to 80s it changed so much, and then from the 80s to the 90s it
Mhm.
changed, and in the 90s I think was the best of the defense and the best of the offense combined, and then now the new
It's when they kind of had both sides figured out
yeah,
by that point.
yeah, and then the 2000s started morphing in. 2000s were horrible for basketball, and then the 2010s like we've morphed into this offense only basketball, and when you see a good defender, they just lock people down. You know what I mean? Like it's just interesting.
Yeah. Do you like the old school style of more defensive play better, or
Man,
do you
I
like
like
watching
defense
the
in every
excitement of
sport.
offensive play?
Like I like to
Sure.
see a pitching duel. I like to see the I like to see the Kershaw, the old school Kershaws of the world versus the Justin Verlanders, and I like to see the Nolan Ryans and for baseball, and I love to see the NFL. I love to see the Buccaneers defense in 2003 and the 2000 Ravens, and I like that.
Mhm.
Um, I do I like watching home runs and touchdowns and 3 pointers? Yeah, yeah, it's cool, but
Yeah.
nothing's better than seeing a giant 7'2" dude go up to block, a LeBron trying to not a LeBron, a Jordan trying to dunk, and Jordan just goes over the top of him, but it's still great defense. Like nothing beats that. Nothing beats like watching the Pistons just like trying to suck the will out of the other team by goaltending every ball. Like they don't do that anymore. Like yeah, okay, they may get two
Yeah.
points for this, but we're gonna suck the will out of them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
where is that defense? That's what I want to see. I want to see the bad boys defense. I want to see Jordan just
Yeah.
heckling people. Um, the Reggie Millers, like stealing the ball,
Ooh.
scoring, stealing the ball, scoring, stealing the ball, scoring again, and win the game. I want to see those games.
Mhm.
That's what I like.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm with you on there. I think for me it depends on the sport, man, which one I prefer. If I'm watching baseball, I'm with you, man. I want a pitcher's duel for
But that's
sure.
because we played
I'd love to
baseball.
see. Yeah, exactly. I think that has to do with it because I did play baseball growing up. I was the kid that played from 3 until I got out of high school. But it's one of those those are the games I want to watch. For the average fan, obviously that's probably not what you
No,
want
they
to
want to
watch,
watch
right?
Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire smash 70 home
Yeah.
runs. a
They
season.
want the steroid era
Yeah.
back, which I'm not necessarily opposed to that
Well,
either.
why
But
not? Why not get a separate league? and make it like MLB
Mhm.
Slugfest where you can run up and punch the first baseman. Like
Oh, that would be nice. Um, but no, I like the pitchers duel there. But like you said, I also like to see the home runs, the big shots. Um, as long as they're not being hit on the
so.
Rangers. Um,
What? Okay.
Basketball, I like offense, man. I love watching offense, seeing the crazy shit that some of these guys can do with it. Although I will say though, I love watching probably the only part of the defensive side of basketball that I've liked watching is the Bad Boys, the
Yeah.
Detroit Piston
Yeah.
Bad Boys. Like you're talking about with them, man. Just watching them, it was just
Hard.
crazy to watch. These dudes were assaulting people
Yeah.
on the
Yeah. Yeah.
floor just to keep them out of the paint. It was
Well,
ridiculous.
so I hate this year was the first year the All Star game was there was some defense and it was fun to watch. They competed, but typically like
I think they got the All Star game figured out
oh it
this
was
year,
so
man,
good.
with the format.
Um, I just hate basketball whenever they get the ball at the top of the paint and the guy at the top of the keys guarding and then old dude blows by him with a crossover that probably wasn't that great, but it was whatever, and they just take it to the basket. Nobody hits him on the way. Nobody goes up to challenge him. I'm just like, anybody can do that, or
Mhm.
like Steph Curry. Steph Curry comes up with some crazy shots. Like I'll be like, whoa, like I can't believe he made that. But like
Yeah.
these dudes are making threes because they are literally pick and roll where these dudes are open. It sets it up every freaking time. Okay, cool. You can make a wide open three. Awesome. Like I just like going to the paint. Somebody's getting messed up. Somebody's getting hacked. Somebody is going on the ground and they're probably gonna get hurt. Like I like that basketball. I don't know why. Maybe it's 'cause I like UFC. I like I like the hard hits in the NFL. I miss that. I love watching a receiver go over the
Mhm.
middle, thinking he's gonna catch a ball and he just gets obliterated. That's my favorite. Like something like
Yeah.
watching Sean Taylor just fly across the field and spear somebody is so awesome. like
Yeah.
but
I think when it comes to like the contact sports, defense for sure. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. Like with football, everybody likes to see the touchdown passes. But what gets everybody out of their seat quicker than anything?
hit.
Somebody getting
Hmm.
drilled, just
Although
laid out. It'll have the team hyped up, it'll have the fans hyped up. It'll have the team that they're rooting against you. If you could make a hit and the fans that are rooting against you will still go,
yeah,
"Oh,
well,
damn."
and
Like
what's crazy is it's so funny that we think like that. Like, I was listening to Pat McAfee. He was talking about it and what will make the XFL successful. And basically, it was like quarterback play. Any NFL or NFL, any football league is going to be successful if their quarterbacks are good. It's because they put points on the
mhm.
board. And that's what most people want to see is points. But like you said, I'd much rather see somebody get leveled just
Yeah.
just dropped. Like, that's why it was fun to watch the Titans, man. Watching Derrick Henry and people trying to tackle him, like when he just stiff armed Earl Thomas and made him look like a fool. That was awesome. Like I was like, okay. And then like Marshawn Lynch a couple years back when he just trucked everybody, like like
Mhm.
again, I think it was against the Saints. Like he was just
Yeah.
leveling people, and I don't know how many broken tackles he had for that touchdown, but like I want to see
Yeah.
hits on the defense. I want to see hits on the offense. I want to see people just getting dropped because it's a gladiator sport, man. Like, and I get the concussions
Yeah.
thing. Like that's horrible and is what it is. But
Mhm.
like seeing that to me, man,
It's a part of the
is
sport.
so much more fun.
Yeah. I I don't think that concussions is something that they'll ever get rid of unless they even if they were to switch to flag football, they'd still have people get concussions, man. They'd run into each other, you know,
Ooh,
and that it would happen that way.
football will die if that
Um,
happens.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't think that it's something they're ever going to be able to get rid of, and I I think the majority of the people that are super worried and anti concussion are not the true fans of the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're kind of like the people that want to take fighting out of hockey. You know,
yeah,
it it's too violent, but it's like, yo, it's a part of the sport. Like if you don't like it, like don't watch the
yeah,
sport. Same with football. Like yeah, you're gonna see some dudes get their brains scrambled a couple of times. Like it sucks, but that's why they're getting paid a lot of money to do
Yeah.
it.
Well,
So
and going back to the basketball thing, and kind of got off on a tangent there, but like for me, man,
yeah.
I'm going with the old school. You know, I see where the new school they would like I said, I think it would come down to a last you know shot, but who am I? You know,
Mhm.
on a game winning shot, you know, who I'm taking is MJ.
I'm taking MJ on the game winning shot. I don't think it'll come to a game winning
No,
shot
you
though.
think you're gonna be that bad?
No,
Oh,
nah,
oh,
man. I think it's at least a
8
8 point game.
points. What are they going to?
I would give it 8 point. That's true. I don't know what they're going
Oh,
to. If it's
I'm
a
thinking.
if they're playing to 11, if they're playing to 11, it's 11-7.
Ooh, if they're playing to 11, it's gonna
Yeah.
be 12-10, and MJ's gonna hit
I
a
just think it's
fadeaway three.
because LeBron is not going to get stopped on the way to the rim.
Oh, yeah, but Larry Bird, man, if you put Larry Bird on him, or even Magic, or even Jordan, I think Jordan would have a harder
Hmm.
time down low with him. But man, that I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
I just got a lot of faith in LeBron and KD
I
against.
don't
I
have
think
any
that they.
faith in LeBron because of Miami Heat against Dallas Mavericks 2011. That dude let Dirk play him. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. And Larry Bird
it's
was
a
the
different time.
OG Dirk.
The Mavs were just really good that year. That's all it was. The Mavs the Mavs top three would beat the old school top three right there that
Yeah.
year. Put it down. Put it down.
Who's the top three for the Mavs that year? Dirk,
uh,
Jet,
Dirk,
and
Jet, and Tyson
Tyson
Chandler.
Chandler. That's who it was. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Shit. AJ Barea.
Dude, I still have no clue how we won that year. Think of it. Listen to the lineup we had, and we beat LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, right? Or no? They had
No,
Shaq
they
that
had
year. They
they
didn't
had
have
Chris
Chris
Bosh.
Bosh.
That was the first time we went to the finals,
Okay, that was the first year that they
and
had the
Dwayne
big
Wade
three.
beat us single handedly.
Yeah, correct. But we literally had on our team the year that we won it. We had Jason Terry,
Tyson Chandler,
Dirk,
Jason Kidd, Peja
Tyson Chandler,
Stojakovic, JJ Barea.
JJ
Yep.
Barea, Devin Harris, um, uh, Stackhouse. We
Oh
had him
God.
smoking the tweeds on the
Yeah,
bench.
that guy.
Uh, who else was on that team? I know we had somebody else, some other.
Yeah, I mean, right,
No.
exactly.
Either way, that just goes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
show. That just goes to
The,
show that that was the team, and we beat what was supposed to be the super team that would
the not one,
be the
not two,
dynasty
not
for
three,
your.
not four. The decision,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
that was supposed to be the
yeah.
first like super team, the super team they created. They brought Chris Bosh, who
Mm-hmm.
was by far one of the probably the premier power forward at the time, and Dwayne Wade, who had already won a
Yeah.
championship, and LeBron, who's obviously in his prime. And LeBron
Mm-hmm.
quit, man. He quit.
Yep. He did. He did.
But you
Um.
can't beat that Dirk, man. You just can't beat. You can't
Yeah.
beat a seven
There's
footer that
nothing you can
can
do.
freaking just he can fade away.
Hit you with a fadeaway jump shot, like, yeah. I mean, Dirk is stoppable just because of his height and the angle that he shoots at. When he does the fadeaway post, move, there's no blocking it. No matter who you are.
So one thing I want to bring up is the future of the NBA. Like, so we got we have like the guys that are set, like the new guys or the older guys. You got Kawhi Leonard and Paul
Sure.
George, and LeBron's on his way out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis. All these guys, Kemba Walker and Kyle Lowry and all these guys. But you guys, this new wave of talent, it's a little different. Trey Young and Luka Doncic and
Hmm.
Ja Morant and Devin Booker and the Siakam dude that plays for Toronto. I think
Hmm.
that your skills they're getting better, even than like a Steph Curry. Like, have you seen Luca play? Like, Luca has every bit of the offensive game down. Trey Young is an amazing shooter. Devin Booker might be the best scorer in the league right now. I mean, he's awesome.
Hmm.
Um, it's just interesting to see. But to me, there's less defense than there ever has been. Like
Sure.
Pat Bev is probably your best defender, like one of your best, guards defending anything, and it's just like defense now is even worse than it was before. Oh, and Antetokounmpo, I can't forget about
Mhm.
him. But like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's the game is always changing, and I think it's for the better. People don't want to see the same
Mhm.
product. People like personalities, and that's why I like Luca. He's a personality. He gets real upset like a little child whenever he doesn't do well, but he's when he does well, he's always laughing when he does something cool or whatever. And Trey Young needs to shave
Yeah.
his head and he can shoot, but he looks like he's got baby doll
Trey
hair. And
Yeah, I was about to say Trey Young looks like a newborn baby with, like, the
yeah,
curls. It's not a good I don't know why he has not cut that yet, but, I mean, whatever. I guess he likes them,
no, he's
but
trying to hold on to his
no, he
hair,
needs to get rid
man.
of them. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true, true, true. Just embrace it, man. Just
Shave it.
embrace it, get rid of it. Shave it, man. If it's falling out,
Yeah,
shave it.
yeah.
Either that or you gotta get, like, a endorsement with Rogaine or something.
Well, get
Help you
that
out.
LeBron hairline that keeps growing back.
There you go. The Mavs started that one. It didn't start falling back till we beat them.
So
But
uh LeBron, if he chose to play football instead,
mm,
would you put him at tight end or defensive end?
mm, I'm gonna say tight end because of the hops.
Yeah, he'd be like a Jimmy Graham type.
That's the only reason that I would do it, is just because he can get up
And
there. I would if not, I'd say defensive end for sure because he's got the speed and
could you
athleticism to
imagine
make it
though
happen.
throwing a fadeaway or a fade, not a fadeaway, a fade in the corner of the end zone to a LeBron or a
Yeah,
Dwight
hopefully, yeah, hopefully his catching skills are nice because I mean, all you gotta do is put it up there for him.
Yeah,
Dude, not a single defensive back in the world is gonna be able to go up over
yeah,
him.
because you think about like like
Be Gronkowski times
Even a
10.
Calvin Johnson, he was like 6'4", 6'5". He's still
Hmm.
4 inches shorter than LeBron is. You
Yeah,
know, got that
yeah,
reach.
and I'm sure LeBron probably's got better
Uh,
hops too. I
yeah,
don't know
I,
though. I could be
I don't
misspeaking on
know.
that,
I'm curious.
but
Uh,
I feel like you got to have some good hops as a receiver though too though.
oh yeah, dude, those
So
guys are rocking 40-inch verticals.
so they may have the same exact, but no, I think I would put LeBron though at a tight end spot. Where would you put him at?
Yeah,
Tight
yeah,
end or
absolutely.
defensive end?
I, I would
Yeah.
hate to have him though blocking somebody because I don't think he'd be very good. So like he would be like a strictly like we're
Yeah.
passing the ball when he's in.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter. You'd have to triple team
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Like
Mm.
he was actually going to play. I was reading he was thinking about playing football, or it was in the
Yeah.
so LeBron's vertical is 40 inches. I'll give you
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson's just the one that came to mind. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
I'm sure his vertical is through the roof. Um,
Here we go. Let's see. I'll
yeah.
tell you. Can you just give it to me? Like LeBron's came right up.
Put in your last four of your social and your zip code, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to verify your personal
Hold
information.
on. He had 36-inch vertical.
Okay. All right. So LeBron's got him by a little bit
Yeah,
on
so
that,
LeBron's got
which
like
he's got 4 inches of height and he's
four
got
inches
about
of
4 inches of
vertical.
vertical
Yeah,
on him. That's probably that height that you're seeing right there.
you imagine throwing up to that dude. Jeez.
Yeah, that'd be insane. That could you imagine replacing Gronk with him in New England?
No, like Gronk didn't even need to jump. He just was taller.
I know,
You think about this.
but I'm just saying. I bet you if LeBron played tight end for Jameis Winston, he'd have a lot less interceptions.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, so I was just thinking about this, like, oh, Randy Moss, he was amazing or whatever. Randy Moss had a 30. This one says 39. Somebody said 33-inch vertical during his combine.
He was just speedster though, right?
He jumped, man. He was 6'5",
Yeah.
210, 4.25 40.
Jesus.
I mean, I
It's always amazed me how people can run the 40 so fast, hit it in like
well,
4.3 or
what was that
4.5 or stuff
Isaiah?
like that. I mean, people were doing that at my high school, and we were in high school too, like running it pretty fast as
Yeah,
well. But it just amazed me all the time because I've never ran
well,
it
in
that fast.
commerce,
I just don't know how you get your legs going that quick. That's just
in
crazy to me.
commerce, I remember like we had Buck and Jerace and TJ. These guys were running sub 4.40s, and like Buck
Yeah.
for sure. Like shout out to Buck Wilson, by the way. But that dude, like, but I don't think it was an NFL 4.4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was as
Hmm.
accurate. I think it was pretty dang close though. Like those dudes were fast, like legit. But
Yeah.
the unofficial times, and then like the NFL's got like all these different instruments that they utilize to make it exactly that. And I don't think in high school it's as good because you've got like coaches doing the watch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they just got the stopwatch
yeah,
standing at the 40-yard line saying, "All right, come
yeah, the
on through."
human error with that, the point one, point two, or whatever
Yeah.
might be off.
Yeah. Either way, those fools are fast.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I just I don't understand it. It's crazy to. It's always been crazy to me whenever I see people that fast. I guess it's because I've just always been slow.
run that 6.0,
uh,
baby. That Tom
yeah,
Brady.
yeah. If it was GPA, I'd be in a great boat right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Hey, you ever watch Tom Brady run? That shit's funny.
No, I haven't,
Like
but
when
I
he
feel like
runs,
I
like
need
he
to.
scrambles, it's like he's so out of.
He's kind of goofy looking with it.
Yeah,
Now that I think about it,
yeah,
it's not his
so
element.
speaking of him, I was reading something that he is trying to um, trademark Tampa Bay, like Tom PA Bay,
Oh
Tampa
Lord,
Bay. I was like, don't
no,
do it.
no, don't do it. Don't
Hey,
do
but
it.
his receiving core that he's got this year, man, with Mike Evans, OJ Howard, and Chris Godwin is legit. And if he can get Mike Evans the ball any bit close like he did Randy Moss and back in 2008, I think was when they went like undefeated, it's over. But I just
Hmm.
like I know you were excited about Tom Brady. Like, man, I hope he plays better than when he did the last couple years in New England because he was average at best in New England, man. Like, yeah, they went to the playoffs
Yeah,
or whatever, but he's gonna have to show me something different, man. He's gonna have to show me, hey, I can still sling the ball like I used to. I can still be dynamic, and I can play outside of a Tom Brady system or outside of a Bill Belichick system. Um, the and he can dink and dunk and stuff, but he's got to be able to make those long passes and be accurate with them. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, I
I mean,
agree.
it's.
I agree. I think he's got a lot to prove, but I
I
think
think
he'll
he's
be good
got
there. I think
1 year.
I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see what happens if he does really well. Then everybody can say, okay, great. He is not just a product of Bill Belichick's system, but also too he can kind of give the naysayers that are saying, oh, he's too old, a little bit of crow to chew on per se. But then if he doesn't, though, then all of the Tom Brady haters, we can all say, "Hey, we
And I've
told
never been
you,
a Tom
he's
Brady.
old,
I've
washed
never
up."
been a Tom Brady hater. I like Tom Brady. Minus his like his old Uggs thing. I could care less. But
Yeah,
kissing his son or whatever on the lips. Um,
mm, yeah,
it's kind of that daddy's home too stuff where he's kissing his dad or whatever. It's kind of weird, but
yeah.
um,
It's a little odd, but to each its own on that one. I never really judged him much
no,
on
but
that
but I
part.
think that if this happened in 2011 or 2012, I'm
Hmm.
on board. I'm like, dude, Brady's gonna win three more. But I think
Sure.
Brady's got one good year left, and then he's gonna end up like Peyton Manning with his arms not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Father Time is undefeated, man. Like,
Yeah.
Joe Montana did this. He left the 49ers and he took the Chiefs to the AFC Championship, but he didn't have more than a couple years on him. He was done after that. It was just like Father Time is undefeated. Um,
Hmm.
and I would like. I think they'll make the play. They're in a tough division this year, man. Like, uh,
I mean, they got to play the Saints
they got to play
twice.
the Saints.
Got to go through them twice.
They got to play. They got to play the Panthers. They got to play the Falcons. Even like the Falcons are still good. They still have one of the better receiving cores in the league, and they added Todd Gurley. Like if Todd Gurley can stay healthy, I think he's still got some left in the tank. He's going back home,
Hmm.
um, so I mean that can help him a
Yeah,
lot.
that's right, to Georgia.
Like
Yeah.
they've. I think that the NFC South, if Bridgewater ends up being a decent quarterback, like I hope he is, I like Bridgewater a lot. I think that that'll be one of the toughest divisions in the league. Besides the NFC West, I think the NFC West is the best division right now. With Seattle, 49ers, Arizona, and even LA. Like I know that they have their issues, but
Hmm.
I think that's the best top to bottom division in the NFL right now. And I
Hmm.
think that whatever team wants to go to the Super Bowl has to go through the NFC West to make it. Um, but
For sure.
Tom Brady's he's ballsy for going to the NFC. Just because the AFC is so top heavy, I think you have your
Hmm.
best path to the Super Bowl through the AFC. And I think a lot of years that's why the Patriots made it because their road was so much less It was so much easier. You know what I mean? Like they weren't
Yeah.
playing. The AFC's
Right.
gotten better. Don't get me wrong, but
It was just like LeBron getting to the
in the
finals all
East,
those years
yes,
with the Cavaliers.
absolutely.
Who did he have to
Yeah, in
go
the first
through?
year he goes to the
You
West,
know,
he doesn't make the
the
playoffs.
Bucks.
No, I mean
Yeah, the Bucks,
it wasn't even
76ers
the
are fun.
Bucks, man. Like they weren't even good. It was he
Toronto.
had to play. He had to beat the Celtics, and then
Are you talking about when he was
yeah,
with the
when he
Heat?
was with the Heat and when he was with the
Uh,
Cavs, he didn't have to beat anybody. They were all bad.
yeah,
Like literally the whole. Like
correct.
I remember reading a thing. If you were to make, so the NBA has 8 teams. So 16 out of the 30 teams make the playoffs in the NBA. They said if you were to take the top 16 teams and don't break it up by conference, like there was only like 2 or 3 teams for a while there that the East would even make like the playoffs because of their records. And that's how bad they
Hmm.
were. Like this. I mean, it just is what it is. Like the Cavs were they were average at best. Like I'm surprised they beat the Warriors that year. The one year that LeBron got it in Cleveland.
Hmm.
Like they kind of caught lightning in a bottle, honestly. Just the Warriors were not playing like themselves, and I think the Warriors for that stretch, I think they were one of the best teams we've ever seen. Like just they were making every
Yeah,
shot, they were passing the ball.
that was the year they won 73
Yeah,
games, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and then they didn't win it
right.
all. I remember that.
I mean
Yeah,
that's
but then did they get the sweep in the conference finals?
I don't remember.
Did the Warriors? I can't remember. I think they did. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Whenever it comes to playoffs in any sport, I damn near think that sweeping your opponent is not a good
Yeah,
thing.
especially in a game like
Like I know
basketball, where you got to
it's
stay
it's
warm.
it's a good thing as in like you beat them in 4 games and you're done. Like you still want to advance, right? So you'll take an advance however you can get it. But I think whenever you sweep and then you gotta wait a week for the other teams to finish the round, dude, that's a week that you're not playing.
Especially for
And
shooters, they got to stay hot.
yeah, dude, and I I see it all the time in hockey, man, where they get they're sweeping all these teams and then they get rusty for whatever reason. It happened in hockey when the Vegas Golden Knights, their inaugural season, when they went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost. Dude, they swept in the conference finals and then they just
Yeah.
sat there and then they got annihilated in the Stanley
Did
Cup.
you?
Like it wasn't even a close
Well, with the
series. I think they got beaten five.
wasn't the Tampa Bay Lightning kind of like that this year, where they were like the best last year? I
Uh
mean, where they're like
yeah, so their issue wasn't really a sweep thing. They just didn't show up, man. They got beat. I think they got swept in the first round, and they were the top seed. They were like the number one team, and I believe they had the best record in the
Well, and
entire league that
and
year.
so that same thing,
The playoffs were real weird last year in general for hockey. All the number ones got beat out in
and
the
that's
first
the
round.
same thing that happened in '08 for the Mavericks when the Mavericks were they had they had won 70 games that season and Dirk won MVP and then they got swept by the
Mhm.
freaking Baron Davis Warriors. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How
You
horrible.
want, yeah, I do
Oh,
remember that. Do you want to know how crazy the playoffs were last year for hockey, dude? You had all your number four teams get beat out in the first round. That means your wild card teams automatically
right.
advance. Um, you had um, you had a wild card team win the Stanley Cup. And not only did that wild card team win the Stanley Cup at the All-Star break, they were in the basement, dude. They were like dead
Ooh.
last. They went on one of the longest winning streaks ever.
Who was it?
And the
Oh,
Blues,
oh
St.
yeah,
Louis
yeah.
Blues, we snapped that longest winning streak they had too. They played us, and I think they were on like a, well, it was like a franchise one. I don't think it was a league wide, but I think they were on like a 15 game streak. We beat
Well,
them,
I think we can all agree
but
that NHL has the best playoffs. I mean, by far.
yeah, which is weird because it's such a simple recipe, but it seems to just work. 7 game series. It's the exact same as the NBA, but for whatever
Well,
reason, like
it's
same
because
format,
because basketball is not as like the good teams
physical.
win in basketball. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
true. You don't
in
really,
hockey,
you never know
yeah,
with hockey.
one goal that slips in or one, one intercepted pass or whatever it is can change the whole landscape of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas one missed shot or one made shot, it's not going to change the whole game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like football is different is weird because it's such a momentum game, and if you can catch that momentum
Mm-hmm.
and swing it, you can win. But
Yep.
like even watching the Super Bowl this year, like the 49ers had the momentum the entire game, and then the Chiefs turned it on its head, and Patrick Mahomes started playing.
Yep.
It's when the NFL when the games are good throughout the playoffs, I think the NFL has a really good playoffs. But whenever
Yeah. You talk about momentum and grabbing momentum. Think about the Chiefs and all the momentum they grabbed in the
oh
playoffs last
yeah,
year,
they destroyed the
dude.
Ravens, who were the favorites,
Then they had the
who were
Texans,
yeah
and they
down 21
were
zero.
what, down 21-0, and I believe it was like 3.5 minutes of game time. They were up 24 to like
Yeah,
21. That's ridiculous.
yeah.
And then it's basically same thing in the Super Bowl. They caught that momentum at the end and ended
Well,
up winning it.
and they have the best player in the league. I mean, Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes. I think
100%.
he's the best player in the league. He's the perfect mixture of
Unreal.
mobility and
Hmm.
arm strength and arm accuracy and quarterback play. And then they have
Yeah.
the best tight end, Travis Kelsey. They have two of the fastest receivers in the league, Tyreek Hill, and I can never remember the other guy's name. Um, you know,
Sammy Watkins, Michael
and
Hardman.
Nicole,
They
oh
got a
yeah,
couple.
Hardman, that's his name. And then Sammy Watkins is
Yeah.
POS. Like he's not fast, but he was good
Yeah.
enough for them. And then
Yeah. I was just
yeah,
brainstorming
and
names.
their defense was just good enough to stop the run, which nobody could stop the 49ers run before that. You know, um,
Hmm.
Matt Breida and who's the other running back for the 49ers? I'm like drawing a blank. But yeah,
Um,
so
I don't know.
I think hockey has captured the playoffs, and it's upsetting that we can't even watch hockey because I really only watch NHL during the playoffs. So I
Yeah.
didn't even get to really watch it. I think I'll be watching a little bit more now. We've been playing that NHL 20. It's pretty fun. So
Yeah. Yeah. Which, speaking of NHL 20, man, dude, we've been rolling for a good minute. You ready to,
yeah,
hop off,
yeah,
maybe catch a couple
yeah,
games of that
and for our listeners
before we hop
for our
up to.
listeners that are still listening at this point in time, thank you. And also, I think we're gonna do. We're talking about doing a live like Twitch stream for one of the podcasts where we're just
Mhm.
gonna get on there and BS a little bit while we're playing our league. Watch us get beat by 14 or win by 8 or whatever. So
Yeah. And they could also be 14 years
yeah,
old too. Some of these kids are
yeah.
good.
Some of
Um,
the are pretty risque, and I don't agree with them, but it is what it is.
mhm. Yeah. Oh, 100%. We've got to give you that disclaimer. We do not agree with all the player names that we see when we play
Yeah,
people
yeah.
online. Um, that being said, we definitely are going to be doing that here pretty soon. Um, Also, too, just a couple of announcements. I think I was letting you. I think hit you up on these earlier today. I just checked it today. We've got our podcast now up on a lot of different platforms, so hopefully we can get to you wherever you like to listen to your podcast. Just a little bit of an announcements. We're now available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. I'm not really sure what the last three are, but if you're listening on there, um, thank you for
And
tuning
also
in.
on YouTube
Um,
still.
yeah, we are still on YouTube. We're always going to be coming to you on YouTube as well. Um, I like YouTube just because people can comment on it. So one of the requests we put out last video is if you're listening this far in to comment, nobody did. So hopefully that means that some of y'all just didn't want to comment. I hope everybody was listening to it all the way through. But if you are listening to it again, I'm just going to request that you drop us a comment. We'd like to know.
Give us some
Um,
questions. Maybe we'll bring up a topic that you bring up on the comment section. Um, yeah.
100%. That's something we're gonna be rolling out too on social media this week, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're gonna be putting out there, posts where you can submit your own questions for the show, what you'd like to hear us talk about. If we get some feedback on that, we'll talk about those topics. So that way we fit what you want to listen to as
And
well.
also, if if you have any suggestions for the podcast, like you want to see some video, let us know. And Also, we're talking about, like I said, we're talking about doing this Twitch stream, just to kind of get a little bit of a different feel, and kind of change the game up a little bit. And we'll still release the audio portion of it. You just won't get to see the video that may be correlating with our conversations. And in the future, we may bring up some topics besides sports when we start running out of sports ideas. But if you look at the next podcast, we'll be dropping our probably just the first round, because there maybe the first couple of rounds of our NFL mock draft. So it's definitely got to tune in for the next one, and also make sure that whatever podcast forum that you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe. Give us a rating and what you think about the show, and so we can keep this conversation going, and we can keep BSing and that kind of stuff. So
Couldn't have said it better, man. BS Nation. We'll talk to you guys next
all right.
time. Later.